Okay, here we are. We're going to do a edit here for Sir Thomas Aquinas Editor's Code. I'm going to put my name up here in the corner. I'm going to say, well, up on where it says name, I say Mr. A. And the date is the 30th of the 7th, 19. Okay, so now I'm just going to go through the passage up here and try and find as many sort of things I need to edit in my text using the editor's code here. And straight away I can see that there's something wrong with the start of this sentence, and that's obviously it needs a capital letter. So I'm going to be looking at using this part down here of the editor's code, which is to put a capital letter required. And that just means putting two little lines underneath the letter that I need to put as a capital, or one that doesn't need to be there. So I'm just going to put a little T there. And I know that the start of a sentence always begins with a capital letter. So I'm just doing that there. So the Sydney Harbour Bridge is a steel arch bridge. Okay, so if I'm looking up here, Sydney Harbour Bridge, I know that that's a proper noun because we've been doing a lot of work on proper nouns at the moment. So all three words are part of the same name. So each word needs have a capital. So I've got Sydney there, harbour and bridge. So if I'm using the same idea here of using this capital letter required, I put the two lines underneath. So Sydney obviously is okay there, harbour needs one, and bridge needs one too to make the proper noun. Okay, is a steel arch bridge which runs across. Steel, I know that that word steel there is the wrong type of steel. Okay, that means to take something from somebody. All right, so I'm going to come over here and have a quick go of how to spell steel, and I'm pretty sure that the metal way, or to spell the one that is metal, is a double E, so I'm just going to put that up there, steel. Okay, that looks right. Okay, steel arch bridge which runs across Sydney Harbour. Okay, which, all right, that's the witch that rides a broomstick, and I guess that if, you know, we're thinking about that, she doesn't really need to use the harbour bridge. But, so let's have a look. WH, I think I'm just going to have a go on the have a go space here, which I know that, no, that doesn't look right there. I'm going to have a go here again. That's right, I needed the H there to make sure it's okay. So which, I'm going to put there, WHICH. Okay, the Sydney Harbour Bridge is a steel arch bridge which runs across Sydney Harbour the bridge. Okay, that didn't even make Sydney Harbour the bridge. I think there needs to be a full stop here, and there's not. So I'm going to come down here and use this code again. All right, so I know here that missing or incorrect punctuation. Well, there's a missing full stop, so I'm going to put a little circle there. I might put even the full stop in there. So missing part there, I can put the full stop in. So if there's a full stop there, the sentence needs a capital. So that also isn't there at the moment. So I'm going to put the two little lines under there to say there's a missing capital letter. And I'm going to add that capital letter there now. All right, so the Sydney Harbour Bridge, okay? So the bridge is able to transport trains, cars, bicycles, and pedestrians, okay? Bicycles doesn't look right to me, all right? I know that cycles is spelt with the Y over there, and the I should be over here. So I'm going to put it, I have a go over here, so I'm going to say BICYCLES, and that looks like the right one, so I might put that up there. Bicycles, yeah. Okay, bicycles and pedestrians. Okay, and again, look, there's a missing full stop here, so I'm going to put that little circle here from this part of the code, missing or correct punctuation. Put that in there. There's already capital there. Let's have a look. Harbour Bridge is able to transport trains, cars, bicycles, and pedestrians. Full stop. The bridge is nicknamed the coat hanger. The bridge. Now that actually doesn't need to be a capital because it's referring to the bridge as a common noun, so not as a proper noun. So I'm going to change that to a little b. So the bridge is nicknamed the coat hanger, and that one does need a capital letter there because it is a proper noun. So if I do that now, I'm going to put that up there, okay, and I'm going to say the coat hanger because of its arch-based design. All right, the bridge is nicknamed the coat hanger because of its arch-based design. The bridge's design was influenced by the Hellgate Bridge in New York City. Okay, influenced by the Hellgate Bridge. Now, bridge is part of the part of the proper noun up on this one, so it will need to have a capital B. Okay, the bridge's design was influenced by the Hellgate Bridge in New York City. And I can see York and City are sort of joined there together. So if I look down here, I can see in my editor's code here that there's a code for space required. And in here there is a space required. It's this sort of like diagonal little slash here. So I'm going to put that in between the two words that need the space. Okay, the Hellgate Bridge in New York City, full stop. It was designing and building by, it was designing and building by British organising Dorman Long. Okay, so that automatically to me doesn't make much sense. So I'm going to use a little squiggly line under all of that. And you can see here that you put the squiggly line as part of an editor's code under some words or a phrase that doesn't make sense. So it was designing and building by British organising. Okay, so there's some words in here that aren't spelt, or they're not the right words for the sentence. So I'm going to fix those up. All right, we remember sort of the possible spelling errors. We put the circle, we practice that up here. Put the circle around designing because I know that it was designed and built, because we're looking at tense issue here. It's in the past tense. So designed and built. Okay, built. I'll put designed up here, designed, and I think it's got the ED on the end of it. So designed instead of the designing, yeah. And built, I'm going to have a built. Now, I have a go up here, build, that doesn't look right, or built. It's a T, I think. So B-U-I-L-T, built, that's better. So B-U-I-L-T. Okay, so it was designed and built by British Organising Dorman Long and Co. Limited. So that's, I know that's got to be maybe an organisation. So designed and built by British Organisation Dorman Long. Okay, so I'll change that up there. And again, I'm going to have to spell organisation. Okay, I can see over here it's got organise. Okay, so I'm going to have a go up here. So and I know that organisation, I need the T-I-O-N at the end. Organise, I know there's an E on there. Ation. Okay, I don't think that E needs to be there because of that vowel there. So if I go, try that again. Organisation. Okay, that's better. That's a better one there. I'll tick that one and I'll put it up here. Organisation. Okay, Dorman Long and Co. Limited. Okay, so there's the full stop there. Hang on, the bridge, so that doesn't need to be there. That just needs to be a little H there. The bridge is the 6th longest spanning arch bridge in the world. The 6th longest spanning arch bridge in the world. And the tallest steel, okay, there's that steel again, steel arch bridge. Okay, no capital doesn't need to be there because, again, it's referring to the bridge as a common noun, not a proper noun. It's not calling it by its name, it's calling it as a bridge, which is a common noun. Tall steel arch bridge measuring 134 metres from the top to water level. So from the top to water level. I think there's something missing in there, so I'm going to make, because it doesn't quite make sense to me, excuse me, measuring 134 metres from the top to water level. I guess that I could put in something there. I think I'm going to try and upgrade that a bit. From the top to water level, maybe the top of the arch. Okay, so I could insert here, if I use this little triangle here to insert a word or phrase, the top of the arch, maybe the top, there you go, I'm going to put that there, top of the arch to water level. It was also the world's, okay, the bridge measuring 134 from the top of the arch to the water level. I think I'll put a full stop there, so that's a missing punctuation, and again, that's missing a capital letter, so I'm going to make that an I with my little dashes underneath. It was also the world's widest bridge at 48.8 metres until the Portman Bridge. Again, this one needs a capital because it's part of the proper noun. I know that can be confusing with the bridges that do have capitals and ones that do not, but remember, you just need to think, is it being used as a proper noun or is it being referred to as a common noun? And that's what you need to remember. until the Portman Bridge in Vancouver was built in. Built in. Okay, I think that needs to be split. So again, here we can put a space. I think there's a space required there between built and in, and that makes me actually look to check that word that I checked before. Built, B-U-I-L-T, and that's right, built in 2012. All right, so I think at the moment I've covered a lot of the work here, and I'm going to now just have a little check of this. I think I'm going to go through and reread the whole thing just to make sense, okay? Because that's important to reread your work all the time to make sure that it makes sense. So I'm going to start again. So let's have a look. The Sydney Harbour Bridge is a steel arch bridge which runs across Sydney Harbour, full stop. The bridge is able to transport trains, cars, bicycles, and pedestrians, full stop. The bridge is nicknamed the Coat Hanger. It's a name, that's why I've changed that to a capital. The Coat Hanger because of its arch-based design. The bridge's design was influenced by the Hell Gate Bridge in New York City. It was designed and built by British organisation Dorman Long and Co. Limited. The bridge is the 6th longest spanning arch bridge in the world and the tallest steel arch bridge, measuring 134 metres from the top of the arch to the water level, or to water level. Full stop. It was also the world's widest bridge at 48.8 metres until the Portman Bridge in Vancouver was built in 2012. All right. I think that's looking pretty good. So let's have a look now. I'm going to use this this little sort of self-assessment side here to make sure I've sort of checked everything. I know I didn't use all of the things here, but I used a fair few. So let's have a look. I have circled the spelling errors. Well, I've done that, so I can happily say that I can colour in that smiley face there. I have used my have a go space to attempt to spell words correctly. Well, I've done that. I've used the have a go space, so I can put the happy face up there again. I've read my writing to check that each sentence makes sense. Well, I just did that at the end after I sort of finished, but I was doing it as I went as well, so I can do that. I have checked my capital letters and full stops in my writing. Well, I definitely did that. I found a few that were missing, and I found a couple that needed to be fixed up there, so I can colour that happy face in. I've upgraded a word with a better vocabulary choice for at least one word. Okay, well, I didn't do that, and I'm looking down here at editor's code that this box here says a better vocab choice. So maybe having a quick look through again and see if there's any words in here that I can upgrade. So let's have a look, maybe from the top. The Sydney Harbour Bridge is a steel arch bridge which runs across Sydney Harbour. Maybe runs? I could probably maybe upgrade the word runs. I know that I can make it a bit more technical term, that maybe if I said maybe spans or reaches across, not reaches, but I think spans would be a good one. So the Sydney Harbour Bridge is a steel arch bridge which spans across Sydney Harbour. Okay, well, I think now, look, I've done that, so I can tick that one off, and it says for at least one word. All right, and I've done that there, so I can tick it off. Maybe there's some other ones in here that I could upgrade, but I'll have a look at that a bit later. I've shown where a new paragraph is needed now. I'm thinking that for all this information, I think this all information is sort of the information for this one type of paragraph. So I don't think it actually needs a paragraph, but other people might think a little bit differently. So I'm just going to put in here maybe not needed. Needed. Maybe other people think differently, but I can talk to my classmates about that and see what they think. I need to understand how to use the following code better. Well, again, I think over here, this one here I didn't use, this insert text or rearrange text. So maybe I'll write that one down here, this little sort of arrow with the little asterisk or the star there, okay? Because that's something that I haven't quite used yet. I didn't use it in this, and maybe I can talk to my teacher about how to use that or what that means. Maybe there's other ones in here, but I think that's the one at the moment that I'll probably need a bit of work on. So I think at the moment I've done a pretty good job here, and I think now that I can go and find a peer to maybe help me out and have a look to see if I've done all the right things, and maybe I can compare mine to theirs and see if I've missed anything. And I think that's about it.